Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. Welcome to The Weavers. Today I'm just sharing a recipe with you. This is Italian wedding soup. And I love it, the kids love it, and it's an easy one to throw together. I am starting with the meatballs, which I prefer to make myself. So I am adding in a half cup of panko breadcrumbs. Quarter cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and this one I get from Costco, so it is a little extra salty, so I'm a little more careful with how much salt I add. I'm adding a tablespoon of garlic powder and a tablespoon of onion powder, 1 egg, and I'm just going to mix that together so that we can get all of the flavoring mixed together first. I'm adding a little bit of milk to give a little more moisture to the meatballs. I am then going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper for extra flavor. I'm now adding 1 pound of ground beef, and if you had seen my recent Costco and prep haul, I separate all of them into bags and freeze them flat. I'm adding in 1 pound of mild Italian sausage and 1 pound of maple sausage. This just adds this beautiful sweetness and just unctuousness, I guess, to these meatballs that it just you can't get from anything else. And then I'm just gonna mix it in by hand because then I can tell when it's done versus mixing with a spoon, just to make sure all of those are just incorporated, but not too much that it is dense and tough. So when I make my meatballs, I like to bake them first to hold their shape because this dough or mixture is really loose. And trying to do them in the pan before I make the soup, it just never works out for me and they end up falling apart. So I'm lining a baking sheet with foil and then parchment paper. And I, for some reason, misjudged how big my sheet pan was. So I pulled it out and I looked at it and I'm like, that is not big enough. So I had to grab a second piece, which is fine. Double layer, easier to clean up, which is one of my main reasons that I do the double layer, is because then I can just peel it all off and throw it away. I'm using a tablespoon measure and then splitting it in half, so it's a half tablespoon per meatball. And the reason that I'm doing this is because it makes them smaller. And because I have kids with little hands and little mouths, it makes it easier for them to eat. So I am just going to go through and roll all these out. I'm just going to bake them at 425 degrees for about 10 minutes. All right, next we're going to start making the base of the soup, which was supposed to be a mirepoix, which is onions, carrots, and celery. But I came to the realization that my daughter actually ate all of my celery. So I didn't have any celery, which is fine. I'm going to dice up an onion and the carrot, and the scrap, or the bucket that I keep pulling everything into the scraps, is my yard waste bucket. It goes into our recycling stuff and gets used for compost. So I'm just giving it like a medium dice on the carrots. They're small carrots, which is why I used 3, and my kids really like carrots. So good vegetable to add into there. I'm also gonna dice up that onion. Same, but try to get it all about the same size so they cook at the same time and they cook evenly. Adding a little bit of olive oil to the pan, and then I'm gonna add in my veggies, and then I realized these onions were gonna get everywhere, so I grabbed a veg scraper to get it into the pot. I then added in 6 cloves, yes, 6 cloves of garlic. And the reason that is because we like garlic in this house. So now I'm just adding in the meatballs. They're not all the way cooked through, so they're gonna finish cooking in the soup. But I wanted to get just the shape of them solidified before, and then I added in the fat or the juices that were coming off of them as they were cooking. And then I'm adding in frozen chicken broth, and I make my own chicken stock or my own bone broth, and then I freeze it into bags and then just pop it in with a little bit of water. I recently did a TikTok video on my chicken stock and how I made it, and it actually took me like a week to make it that time because I was sick while I was making it. So I added in the broth, and then I added in 4 cups of water and some pepper. And now I'm gonna add in the little pastas that go in this, and my husband called them fish eyeballs because he didn't realize the soup he was actually asking me for was zuppa toscana, not Italian wedding, which is fine. It turned out great, and the kids loved it, and we have leftovers, which is great for me because I love leftover soup. And it freezes beautifully, so if you make a ton of this, you can freeze it into bags. Like I freeze them into quart bags, and then just pop them in the microwave to thaw them and then heat them through, and it's delicious. So I actually use kale instead of spinach, and the reason that is kale just holds its shape beautifully when it is cooked in soups or in sauces, and it freezes really nicely without getting really mushy. I don't really like cooked spinach. It is not something I enjoy, but if you like spinach, by all means. I know this is not authentic because I am using kale, but I like it and my kids like it. So. Just adding a little chopped parsley and green onion on top for a little extra green and freshness, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. This recipe is on welcometotheweavers.com if you would like to. Comment if you try it, and have a great day.